Hello everyone and welcome to Disasterpiece Publishing House. I'm Dev Soloway.
And I'm Matt Pat, here to talk to you about my newest Five Nights at Hold on. Someone's handing me a note. Oh no. Oh, this joke isn't funny anymore.
Yeah. Oof. Anyway, we killed Matt Pat. No, this is a show about the Wild West of weird internet literature.
Dramatic readings included.
We gotta find some way to like hone your predictive powers because they're just sort of wild and directionless at the moment.
Yeah, I'm really feeling like I'm just this sort of fey creature who keeps willing things into being.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that first act of Matilda where she's realizing she's got, like, that power or whatever.
Yeah, let me elaborate on this real quick. 'Cause this might be coming out of context. So, Joan's predictive powers have escaped the podcast into the real world because she brought up Jimmy Buffett. Jimmy Buffett died. She brought up Henry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger died.
Okay, hold on. I refuse to take credit for Henry Kissinger as much as I would love to. I'm pretty sure that there's, like, the collective willpower of the Cambodian people alone. If they couldn't have done that over the past 25 years, I refuse to take that credit.
That's fair, yeah. I will give you credit for ending Matt Pat's career after several bits about assassinating him. And then, my favorite
Well, he retired because he knew that if he didn't stop, I'd get him.
The last thing I wanted to bring up was Joan also gave me a writer's award because I was listening back to the Sonic High episodes, and she said something like, "You deserve a Pulitzer," and then 2 weeks later, I won an award for writing. It's not a Pulitzer, but, I mean, she manifested it. So we're going to have to find some way to, you know, put you through some kind of, like, Goku training montage or something.
Well, I think that's what we're doing today, Dev, because, like, if there is one thing that you and I both, like, have a weird fascination with, it's DC's fuck-ups. Like, you and I are both weird DC nerds. We're not, like, encyclopedic in our knowledge, but we just kind of get hung up on specific facets of it and just kind of get obsessive over stuff. And one character that you and I have just kind of, like, made fun of for years because he's fucking Guy Gardner. It's Guy Gardner.
Yeah. So we've brought a comic today called Guy Gardner Reborn. Now, I found this for free in high school because no one wanted it. I fucking love this thing, and I've kept it for these past 14 years for that reason. Because it takes a character who everybody just wants to fucking dunk on all the time, and it makes him likable. So
for context, for the longest time, all I knew about Guy Gardner is that when it came time to kill Superman, the first guy that Doomsday fucked up, both because it would set up stakes and also no one would really care if he was put into critical condition, was Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
And it was so painfully obvious reading it, like, wow, DC fucking hates this guy.
And they hate him for no reason. Let me preface this by saying, of all the, like, DC heroes, Green Lantern is my least favorite. I don't give a fuck about Green Lantern. I don't care. I think his powers are stupid. I think the world is stupid. I hate all of it. I'm sorry.
There's only one good Green Lantern, and that's Jon Stewart, baby. We stand Jon Stewart specifically in the Justice League cartoon.
I disagree.
Adaptation.
I think the best one is Guy Gardner.
Oh, all right.
Specifically because of this comic. Now, I want to talk about this comic in particular because the creative team is Gerard Jones, Joe Staton, and Joseph Rubinstein. And Joe Staton, I think it was, is the writer who revolutionized Guy Gardner, who made him good by making him a parody of himself. Because ultimately, that's how you write asshole characters, is you make them so much of an asshole that they make an ass out of themselves.
What year was this? I'm curious.
1992, so it's before.
Wow, they were really ahead of the game there, because I feel like Guy Gardner pretty early on was a great example of, like, why the 90s freaking Todd McFarlane / Rob Liefeld type of overly moody anti-hero was really not going to work in the long run.
Yeah.
And everyone just kind of went, no, but we can do it, right?
Yeah, and as you'll see in this comic, it's ahead of its time in that it parodies this kind of jingoistic, macho, like hyper-American guy who, you know, just punches his way through problems and doesn't take no for an answer. And, you know, it examines that trope in a way that kind of like parodizes it in a way that's satisfying, because you see it so much taken seriously when it's really better when it's not taken seriously.
I just want to say my favorite part of the cover art is of this, which this is an incredible group shot, by the way. I just want to say, like, I am a sucker for like ensemble pieces where people's like body language gives off a huge portion of like the storytelling in it. Yeah. And it's just Guy Gardner shooting directly at the viewer, Lobo lunging at him, and like the entire Green Lantern supporting cast behind him just looking fucking mortified.
Yeah.
Like, fucking Hal Jordan looks like, oh my god, dude, that was a puppy! Like, that's the expression he has.
I want to describe this. I want to describe Guy in a little bit more detail, just so we can kind of...
He's first of all, he's wearing a binder with a no Green Lantern symbol on.
Yeah. Like the no smoking signs, but it's the Green Lantern symbol with a cross through it.
It's a crop top, but he's exuding T-boy swagger.
Yeah, he's wearing a crop top and tights, which is just perfect. You know, like I said, he makes an ass out of himself, so there's lots of jokes even in his design. They made a conscious choice to draw him having a very small package.
Yeah.
They made him a conscious choice to give him just the tiniest chode, and it's very visible.
Like, you can see Lobo's dick, and Lobo's, he's not much better, but he's bigger, and he's farther away.
Yeah, so, like, they've made this choice, right, because Guy Gardner is this very, like, you know, kicking ass and taking names guy, and, you know, jokes about compensating or whatever. He's got, like, belts covered in, you know, bullets. He's got guns strapped to very inconvenient places, like I think like 5 different guns strapped to him, and then he's holding 6 guns, excuse me. It's just, again, they really go over the top with his design here. And
I just want to say, like, for context, for me personally, I have always thought whenever there's a character like this that it's parody, because I've just always thought it was stupid. Mm-hmm. And I've always kind of embraced characters like this because I thought it's always a conscious decision to, like, throw it into... But no.
Sometimes it's taken seriously.
Most of the times it is.
Yeah, especially in the, like, post-Die Hard 80s action movies, you see it.
Which is so weird, because Die Hard was super funny and kind of, like, aware of itself.
Yeah, it's good.
That's just kind of a thing, too, is like, you'll have, like, this interesting deconstruction of, like, this type of character that's meant to be like that kind of from the get-go, and then the sequel's just immediately going like, nah, Rambo's actually a cool guy who shoots a bunch of people, and it's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Appealing to, as more mean-spirited people might say, the lowest common denominator.
Yeah,
I don't like that
which
term,
is all the 90s really were.
Yeah.
In superhero action.
All right.
Specifically. Yeah, let's get the fuck into this.
All right. There's establishing shot of the universe showing Earth and stuff like that, and it slowly zooms in closer to Earth until it's reaching skyscrapers, New York City in particular.
This was mine once. My turf. I was a Green Lantern, a super cop, pegged by a gang of half-pint cosmic gods with skin the color of faded blue jeans, the Guardians of the Universe. They gave me a power ring that did anything my little willpower desired. I fought the biggest and the best with it. Life was a kick then. I still got my turf, only it's smaller now.
And I need to talk about this page. I need to talk about it because
what my eyes immediately are drawn to Slut Glut.
Yeah, so there's so many like adult entertainment signs. You know, Tops Chops, The Exorcist with 3 X's, adults only, Slut Glut, Hot Wet, and whatever, you know, just like a whole bunch
cool
of like,
inside,
just like absurdly like leaning into like this is a place of debauchery, and it's supposed to be Times Square. This is supposed to be Times Square.
Yeah,
I want to talk to you about the thing that made me laugh for ages, though. In the corner, there's a guy I think he's supposed to be a drug dealer.
Oh, yeah.
But all he's doing is shouting, "Yo, weed! Yo, weed!"
And then there's a Wall Street looking motherfucker, and he's like, "Just a dime for the commute, buddy."
Yeah, plus there's like this woman who's clearly a hooker waiting on the corner.
With the most confident stance I have ever seen in my life. Oh my god.
But, yeah. No, it's just like absurd. It's really in your face about just the level of debauchery here. And this is supposed to be Times Square. Like, what was Times Square like in 1992?
Apparently a still image from the Fritz the Cat movie.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say, like, that's kind of what I like about the art of this, is it feels like underground comics. And I think that's where a lot of that over-the-top action hero style was trying to do, is like that sort of like scuzzy underground comics, do-it-yourself sort of grit, but it doesn't really work if you're not doing a little bit of funny.
Yeah.
You know?
Sorry, I just noticed this panel. It's like gentle massage, and there's like a moan coming up.
Yeah, and then the guy gets out of the XXX porn gentle massage parlor and says to the taxi driver, "Thanks, and I need a receipt." All right. Yeah, look this up if you can.
I'll post a link. There's a place where you can read it for free online. I'll post a link in the description where you can read it if you want. It's glorious. I highly recommend it.
You mean the official DC Comics app, right? You can go and support the official release of the comic, but also you can pirate it if you look for it yourself. I don't know. I feel like DC will come at us if we're directly linking towards piracy.
Definitely buy it from DC. Buy
it from DC.
I will give you the link to read it for free, but you should choose not to. That's a moral.
If the link to read it for free is gone in the future, you know why, though. We had this conversation on air. We're good at our jobs. Okay.
So, the next page is also another splash panel. It takes...
But we still gotta do the narration. Okay. Yeah, so while there's like the Kung Fu... Also, there's a Kung Fu Ninjas movie going on. Doesn't really seem to be pornography.
No, it doesn't.
Also, there's a Kung Fu movie.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's the only there are two things... Okay, no, there are three things to do in Times Square. Buy weed, get jacked off, and watch Kung Fu Ninjas. Okay. It's Times Square. You couldn't find more sin, scum, and trouble in one spot if you searched for years. Oh, and believe me, I have. I'm making it my job to clean the place up, no matter what it takes. And then it reveals that there's a guy getting a hand job. Yeah, I know it's a dirty job. Oh, this is actually a pretty sick shot.
Yeah.
He's just beating the shit out of some superhero who's in a porno shop.
Yeah. For no discernible reason.
Yeah, he actually looks like he's funk dancing more than actually just punching a guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I see the boxing kind of pose, but
yeah, but he also looks like, yeah, get it.
I want to talk about Guy Gardner's design too, because his Green Lantern design is personally one of my favorites. I think it's really interesting looking. You know, it's not just your normal super suit. It kind of looks like everyday clothes. But you still got like the big green, you know, power boots or whatever, and you still got the Green Lantern symbol, obviously. I don't know. It's pleasant to me.
I genuinely think that the art in this is absolutely fucking fantastic. Too.
It's good. Yeah.
This is normally a style of hatching and coloring that I am not a fan of in comics, but this is fantastic.
It fits the character and the story, I think, a lot as well.
Yeah, it's like cartoony and funny too. It's like if a guy from Archie Comics was doing a noir parody.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I can see it.
It's just I don't know. I can't say anything other than this is a really fucking cool shot. He's like getting he just beat the shit out of like two guys who are like flying back, and there are two more guys lunging at him. A guy coming up from the bookshelves.
Yeah, it's well choreographed, and then you know he's sort of the action lines are following the reader as you read from left to right, where you see Guy on the left punching this supervillain who's coming at you. There's a lot of foreshortening on the right.
Also, the supervillain is getting knocked through a stack of porno magazines,
which is hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. Get him! Save the boss! Give me your best, bums.
Fight and the world fights with you, Guy Gardner. But lose and you lose alone.
Oh, but that's about I'm getting the shit kicked out of me now out of nowhere. And it won't be good enough.
Uh-oh, how could I forget the one about counting chickens before they hatch? I think this guy's, like, gimmick is something to do with...
Oh, yeah. It's Black Hand.
Oh, okay.
Black Hand's a weirdo, if I remember.
Okay, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't recognize this character, so...
All I know is that he's, like...
He's got an arrow on his forehead. Yeah. Which tells me nothing.
You got a problem for everything, don't you, Black Hand? So give me one for this. And he goes to, like a give me your lunch already type.
Yeah.
Lunch.
Yeah. A twitch in time saves mine.
And he just kicks Guy right in the fucking stomach. Right in the solar plexus. And he's going, ooh! Also, the expressions here are over the top and comical.
Yeah, which is part of, again, what makes it good. Guy is drawn, well, all the expressions are comical, but Guy is drawn in particular making a lot of these faces.
It's great because, like, it'll go from him, like, doing, like, the super macho, like, yeah, intense, I'm a badass. Then he's getting the shit kicked out of him, and he's like, go!
Yeah.
It does a really good job of what I expect from this guy moving forward.
Again, so much of an asshole that he makes an ass out of himself, and that's done even through the art.
Yeah. Hey, I'm impressed. This Guy Gardner is just like how I play all my D&D characters, honestly. Is like the self-world, yeah, but tough guy. Oh, no!
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, I'm impressed. Really, I am. Right down to the New York accent, too. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Now, how about this one? A fist in the mouth is worth two in the hand. Splat. Ooh, that's really not a noise you want your face to be making when you get punched.
No,
that means blood and lots of it.
Yeah.
Well, how about two fists in hand's mouth are worth in hands? No, I better try again.
And that wasn't Joan just stuttering. That was actually in the text.
Yeah.
That's what he says,
yeah.
Which is kind of great. Oh, mama, gotta get out of here before it's one of his thugs trying to run away.
Oh, no, you don't, Alvin! The boss needs us! And he's getting tackled by some Eddie Brock-looking motherfucker.
Yeah. Let me go. Any second now, Green Lantern's gonna get tired of playing with us, and he's gonna use that ring. Just like last time when he...
Uh-oh, Alvin. Hey, look again. Our friend GL don't appear to have no ring no more.
So he don't. Well, in that case...
Maybe a fist in the gut is worth two in the mouth.
Back to Guy Gardner.
Maybe I'll try it the other way around. Oh no, this is you.
The light burning twice as bright burns half as long.
And one of his Black Hand's goons are like sneaking up behind Guy Gardner with a fucking desk clamp.
Yeah.
And then what the hell are you? And then they just whack him and he falls to the ground like a fish.
Yeah, and again, like the silly facial expressions add to the action here, because not only is it made intentionally ridiculous,
it's super dynamic.
It's also it's going with the motion of the blow.
Yeah,
much in the same way the action lines are. So excellent art, very good.
He's making that. Oh,
yeah, like
face. Oh, my penis hurts so bad. Yeah, like that meme.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was nice. I've been dreaming about this since the last time he busted us.
And he's just sitting there, like, sprawled out on the ground in an unnatural pose.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, and then the supervillain here, he says, revenge is a dish best eaten cold, so let's...
Excuse me?
Huh?
And then there's just like it's the guy from the cab! He's leaving the massage part. Oh, he's busting a prostitution ring. Oh, that's what Guy's trying to do. So the guy from the cab earlier is walking in. Crystal here? Oh, it's a mislead. You think that it's a guy getting jerked off, but really it's Guy beating the shit out of people in this. Okay, that's funny. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's us having poor reading comprehension there. Is Crystal here? I need a massage.
Listen, you. And then the villain goes, no, don't cut off your nose, just bite your face. We need the business. Just throw this loser out and clear the room and bring in Crystal. Is this supervillain running a prostitution ring?
Yeah. And like he's doing nothing but talk in cliches, which that's really funny.
That's so fucking funny. After all, living well is the best revenge. Say, you guys do give receipts, don't you? Oh, wait, that's the taxi guy.
Yeah. Sorry, you guys do give receipts, don't you?
And then Guy's just been tossed in the gutter, literally. He's just kind of lying there. And this woman who appears the subtext is that she's a sex worker. She comes up to him and she says,
hey, you okay, honey?
Guy from the gutter, looking miserable, goes,
okay, sure. considering I fell from the Green Lantern Corps to the gutter in just a few days, I'm doing just fine.
And so here we get some kind of backstory from him.
Yeah, Green Lantern. I thought I recognized your clothes. So, what happened?
And they're sitting on the gutter and talking together.
I was the Green Lantern of Earth. The only Green Lantern of Earth. Unless you count that stupid dog, but that's another story. Trouble is, there was a Green Lantern before me, and our bosses said he could get his job back if he could talk me out of it. I did the honorable thing, challenged him to a fist fight. Winner gets the power ring, loser quits the GL Corps. I was handling him, too. Till the jerk got tricky on me, made me wear myself out beating on his defensive. He took more pain than I ever thought he had the stomach for. And he ripped into me when I was beat. Yeah, I just love how, like, Guy Gardner is, like, recontextualizing a triumphant moment from another character, as, yeah, that fucking douchebag. He totally pulled a fast one on me by using his brain and letting me be a fucking idiot over here.
Yeah, pretty much. Again, making an ass out of himself.
He expected me to Welsh. I could see it in his eyes. He was all ready to use his willpower to jerk the ring off my finger. But then I showed him the kind of guts Guy Gardner has. I played square. I gave him my ring. He really hurt you, didn't he, honey? He took more than a ring. He took my pride. Nobody takes me seriously without my powers. Nobody.
I wonder why.
And he just looks so sad here.
Yeah.
What the bozo who cut the checks for the Justice League told him? You still need me, Max. I got experience, I got guts, I'm still your most valuable player.
Well, yes, I have to admit we can still use you, Guy. On monitor duty. After all, you don't need a power ring for that. Heck, you don't even need a brain for that.
And then he's making a... Ooh. And then he, like, starts, like, blushing angrily. He turns
he's,
red.
like, embarrassed and he turns around.
Yeah. Oh, you just blew it, Max, and you'll live to regret it. My roommate, General Glory, wasn't a hell of a lot more help. I'm a hero, damn it! You can't take away my power. But I'm still Guy Gardner.
Why, you surely are a guy, and some of us know it. In fact, I'm going to make you an offer to prove it.
Oh, that's a typo.
Oh, there's a typo in here.
Ha ha! Take that, DC. You thought no one would notice? We noticed. Cut us a check and we won't tell anybody.
Yeah. I'm going to give you that sidekick job I promised you before.
Sidekick?
And there's like a furious panel of him just turning completely red.
Sidekick! And then he knocks General Glory over and he goes, oh!
Yeah.
Guy Gardner is nobody's sidekick.
And then General Glory rolls down the stairs.
Yeah.
He goes, whoops. Oh no,
it's this girl.
I don't remember her name. But yeah, she rolls down the stairs. This is where Guy Gardner kind of sucks, by the way.
Okay, I'll do the girl voice for her, because she has bimbo written all over her.
She does, yeah. Okay.
Guy Gardner, what do you think you're doing? Aw, sorry, baby doll. I didn't see ya. That's okay. Do you want to talk? You'll never understand. Wait, Guy. I know what Max said, but I think the League still needs you, and I'm going to keep trying to... Who needs you trying, huh? Who cares about what you think about the Justice League, Miss spray some ice and make the bad guy slip? What do you know about being a hero? You were fun, baby, but I don't need no distractions while I'm trying to create the new Guy Gardner.
Dumping his girlfriend for no reason. Like... I love that.
Hey, Guy, you seem sad. Can I maybe give you a blowjob? Would that make you feel better? I don't need no bitches getting in the way.
Yeah.
Fuck you, lady. I don't need nobody.
This is what I love about this particular portion, because, again, making an ass out of himself, it's like watching a guy drop rakes and then repeatedly step on them over and over again.
Yeah, he really is just kind of like Sideshow Bob.
Yeah, he's just self-sabotaging over and over again by doing stupid shit.
Oh my god, Guy Gardner really is just the Sideshow Bob of the DC universe.
I guess so. I don't know anything about Sideshow Bob, so...
Like, no, that's literally where the stepping on rakes meme comes from, is like a Simpsons bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where, you know that clip where it's just like the guy who like steps on a rake and he's like... and then it zooms out and it shows like there's like 100 rakes everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a Simpsons.
I thought it was just like a trope that people talked about.
Yeah, it comes from that bit. Yeah.
Okay.
The more you know.
Right. So they're watching Guy leave. General Glory says, "Don't take it to heart, little lady. Old Guy's spirits are just dipping a half-mast right now. We'll run him up that flagpole again quick enough."
What can we do? Being a Green Lantern was all Guy cared about. That ring was his only source of self-worth. If we can't get that back to him, what could we possibly do?
His only sense of self-worth. Getting a little metafiction there. Just telling the reader, this is exactly what we're trying to do.
That's the last thing I heard her say before I turned the corner.
If she was really a girlfriend, she'd have come running after you. I'd do anything for my man, Slick.
Bet you would. Anyway, after I hit that corner, I just kept walking. Volcel King, by the way.
Yeah.
Pussy is just getting thrown at this man like lollipops, and he's just like, nah, I gotta sip my fruity drink and be sad.
He's like so sexist, and he gets punished for it every single time.
He is so sexist, he fumbles pussy.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know how sexist you have to be to not get laid in the 90s?
Yeah. Again, just stepping
in a
on
superhero comic written on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, to be like, let's use this guy as a vehicle to talk about sexism.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get laid. And then Rob Liefeld's like, what if all my characters were like that, but then they got pussy?
Anyway.
It is old hat to make fun of Rob Liefeld, but it's just like, it's just really funny how, like, these perfect deconstructions of these types of characters come along, and then people just don't get the humor in it.
Yeah, well, DC didn't even appreciate it, even though, like, people wanted to read this. People liked this, right? But DC, like, straight up fired the guys who turned Guy Gardner into this sort of character, just because I guess that's not what they wanted in the 90s. So...
just kept thinking about how I had to find myself a way to be a hero. I even thought of contracting the Guardians. Ooh, the Guardians! Woof!
Yeah.
The fucking Guardians.
Yeah.
The G-listers of 90s DC characters.
Oh, they show up later, yeah.
Oh, that's so good. That idea lasted about a second. Little blue monsters hung me out to dry. I'm not crawling back to them. I don't crawl back to nobody. I gotta find a way to get in their faces. Prove to them what a bonehead mistake they made, letting Jordan bump me. I gotta pull some heroes together. Heroes who will respect my experience. Get somebody with power to back us up. Make our own core. And wait a minute. I'm looking for somebody to be rivals to the Guardians? Who the hell else? The New Guardians! Yeah! Oh, these fucking idiots. Fucking idiots. Okay.
There's a Hugbees video about this.
Okay, yeah. There's a great Hugbees video about why these guys are just fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Oh my god. They, like, fight an AIDS vampire.
No, and an AIDS vampire is part of their team, I thought.
Well, no, they fight the AIDS vampire, then one of them gets AIDS. And then one of them gets cyber AIDS. It's weird. Yeah, go watch the Hugbees video, because that's...
Yeah, it's a good... But it's a video about Snowflame, which is...
Yeah.
Honestly...
No, well, no, because...
Snowflame is a supervillain whose powers are cocaine and doing a lot of it.
Yeah, baby!
God, I still gotta draw Snowflame and Dr. Roxo hanging out. That feels like...
I don't know who the second one is.
From Metalocalypse. Did you ever... Oh my gosh, you would very much like Metalocalypse.
We've had this conversation. Yeah. I tried watching it, but I don't know.
His whole character, and he's the best character in the whole show, is that he's a rock and roll clown. And he does cocaine. And they get 4 seasons worth of jokes out of it.
Oh, I'm
and
sure
it never gets old.
Yep.
All right.
So the New Guardians, which is a group of superheroes that were supposed to be like relevant to the issues of the times when they were invented, but it just kind of came off as insensitive usually.
Also, I apologize for the language I'm about to use to describe some of these guys. This is Guy Gardner, not me.
Yeah. This is Guy Gardner's words.
If it... I'm going to commit to it because I'm an actor, but I don't like this. I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah, like I said, Guy sucks, but he gets punished for it.
New Guardians? I never heard of them.
Who has? How do I explain these guys? It's a long story and not a very good one, neither. There are these 6 weirdos who got picked up by the old Guardians to nurse maid this bunch of old cosmic wannabes called the Chosen. Supposed to be the next step in evolution, and
And hell, there's 6 weirdos on this island, that's all. I don't even remember the names. Metal Bod, Cleavage Lass, Circus Board Man, Earring Boy, Veggie Man. Oh, and yeah, the one whose name I do remember. The Eskimo. Tom Kalamaku. A dear friend of good old Hal Jordan. You do the voice.
The Eskimo says, "You know, gang, I don't like the looks of this."
Yeah. Oh, I don't like how he's calling me a slur.
Well, that's the name that he went by. It's not just,
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, by
That's the name that DC chose to call him, not just Guy Gardner.
Yeah, I think that now is a decent time to take a break, though, because this is like a chapter break, it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an issue break here, so...
Alright, so we'll be back with the next issue right after the break. Alright, and we're back with the beginning of the next issue in Guy Gardner Reborn. We've met the new Guardians, and Guy sails up on a sailboat and hails them from his ship while they're on the island.
All right, who's in charge here?
No one is in charge here. This is a community of like-minded people, nurturing one another and our charges.
Oh, wow, man, stop me before I bliss out. You're just too enlightened for me, brother.
And this is my favorite Guy face this whole time.
Yeah, it's drawn intentionally comically.
Because he's like, like that's kind of the face he's doing.
Yeah, he's like trying to, make fun of this guy, but he's drawn in such a ridiculous way that it's more funny to watch him be an asshole.
Yeah.
So he jumps into the water, he starts swimming towards the island.
Well, let me tell you something, pals. It's a big bad world out there.
Shall we restrain him, Thomas? No, Extraño, but I may have to give him a taste of my power.
I have rarely seen a hunk of meat more in need of your powers than this one, Thomas.
That's the tree guy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm telling the audience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you can sit out here nurturing all you want, but it ain't gonna change the fact that there's butts out there that need kicking. This world, this cosmos, will not be so big and bad once the fruit of the chosen has been harvested. Chosen schmosen. It's just another power game by the Guardians. Don't you see that? We gotta get free of these shriveled up old goons. You got powers, ain't you? You're the ones who ought to decide how to use them.
Yes, my friend, we do have powers, and we decided how to use them. For love, for peace, for the increase of light and the deepening of wisdom. You tense up, my friend. Does it bother you that I touch you?
Oh yeah, and he's doing the gentle, like...
Just like, yeah.
The hand, yeah. So he's just like, a boy's touching me, this is bullshit. Yeah, he's having like a homophobic reaction to it, and it's like in the dialogue.
Yeah.
It's just, this is characterizing everyone so great.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's been a minute since I've read a superhero comic that actually does character stuff great, so
yeah.
I'm eating this shit up.
Yeah.
Would it bother you if I threw you in the water?
I fear you may be right, Thomas. You may indeed need to use your powers.
Power? What power?
A simple power, Guy. The power to bring out the best in anyone.
Oh, just like the King of Namek.
Where he's like, I will bring out your potential.
We watched Dragon Ball Z Abridged. That was a huge part of that. I thought that you would have gotten that, so I'm sorry that you...
I watched it 14 years ago, Joan.
Yeah, but I don't know. We're both autistic. I expect us both to
we don't have...
categorize these.
Literally, okay, my version of autism is having an excellent memory to a fault. We have had this conversation on the show before.
Yeah.
Where I didn't get a Dragon Ball Abridged reference, and you said, how do you not remember that? We watched it, and Erica said, not everyone has the same flavor of autism as you.
What, you mean vanilla?
Anyway.
You're saying you're more of a vanilla bean guy?
I don't know what you mean by that.
I don't either.
Oh, mama, I love it. What a power. The best in anyone. Ha ha. I can bring out the best in me right here. Only there's ladies present. Get it?
And he's nudging the one girl.
Yeah.
Also, his dick is in the shot, and you can't see shit.
Yeah, no.
Now listen, Pollyanna of the North. Jesus Christ. Guy Gardner needs help, and you're gonna give it.
Am I? And then all of the new Guardians surround him and come to Thomas's defense. Let him go, Gardner, or we'll... No, Ram, that's all right. Let him talk.
Damn straight I'll talk. Look at me. I'm a hero. I got the guts, I got the experience, I got the will, but there's one thing I ain't got. Powers. And that's the one thing you got. Powers. Powers you ain't using. Let me tell you how to use them. Join me. No, follow me. I'll make a superhero team out of this new Guardians like the world ain't never seen.
And the balls for him to, like, be so rude to all of them and then say that... Again, just stepping on rakes.
He's so funny.
Yeah, stepping on rakes.
Sorry, I made the mistake of looking to the next page at the best panel.
Yeah.
So far. Okay. We'll give you powers. A nice big dose of Tom's powers.
Please, Gloss. This man has troubles. It would be arrogant just to sweep them under the rug with a, quote, dose of my powers. You're filled with anger, Guy. You define yourself with that anger, and no one can tell you to just let it go. But I can ask you to think about the purpose of that anger. Think about turning it around to help you grow, instead of...
And he like, touches Guy's shoulder, and he has another homophobic reaction. You don't know nothing about me, Kalmaku! You never felt anger like mine. You never seen anger like mine. Not yet, anyway. I don't need your psychologizing. I don't need nothing from any of you. And then he sees Gloss's tits.
and it's just
his eyebrow raises, and his eyes pop out like a cartoon wolf. He puts his hand around her hip.
Completely forgets what he was doing before.
Hey, something to you. How about it, kid? I mean, our costumes match, right? Only somehow mine is eye-catching, you know? Last chance, baby. Old guy's offer don't stay good forever. Going, gone. And then she just throws him miles away from the island.
Oh, no. She uses magic to just fucking launch him.
Yeah.
Like, you can see the island, his boat, and then him splashing like a mile further away from
Yeah, it's great.
It's
hilarious. And also the Zack automatopoeia that is as large as the coastline.
Yeah. It's kind of great. That was not very enlightened of you, Gloss, but I have to admit, it was pretty funny.
just another metafiction moment of it being like, ask me to look inward? Hey, fuck you, buddy. I got titties to ogle and powers to abuse. Fuck you. Yeah, great.
And it says a lot, too, that he considers himself like being like a cop and then acts like... dipshit, and it's that's another thing that I love about this.
Yeah, so like they're just doing a really good job to show like the way that he constantly emasculates himself comes from a place of self-destruction.
Yeah, self-sabotage.
And well, we're just doing a really good portrait of a guy who's about to be really frustrated that he doesn't have any power in the world, so he grabs a bunch of guns and starts shooting people.
Yeah.
Usually nobody puts me around like that, especially no broads. Yeah, it's cut to later, and
he's at a bar, I think. Yeah,
he's at a diner.
Oh, it cuts to the present where he's talking to the woman who's a sex worker.
Yeah. Now I let a bunch of new age crystal polishes get away with it. Probably lounging around now, reading their Shirley MacLaine books and chucking about what they did to the great Guy Gardner. Nobody understands you, do they? Don't have any family? Family. It's so she is so naive, bless her heart.
Yeah, she's sweet to him regardless, which I think is nice, you know.
She's lovely. I love her.
Yeah.
Also, she's like super pretty.
Yeah.
And like a really cool, I don't know. There's a way that DC tended to like depict women, and especially like sex workers, where like, you know, obviously her design is like, this is what a sex worker would wear. But I don't think there's anything in the framing of the narrative that's actually exploitative of the fact that she is an attractive woman.
No, I mean, really she's an audience stand-in, but I think it's kind of a neat choice for them to take a character like that, and instead of using her to make a statement the way people normally do with sex worker characters, she's an audience stand-in who is open-minded and non-judgmental, and she just lets Guy Gardner talk like the dipshit that he is, and it's, you know, it's just nice. It's nice to see.
Yeah, no, like, I don't know, sex worker characters have the potential to be the most nuanced and likable characters in things. I'm gonna direct the audience towards Tokyo Godfathers as an example of that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I appreciate that in the edgy Guy Gardner comic, she's treated well.
Yeah.
Can y'all do that now?
Yeah.
Please?
Again, when I say, like, the reason why this is such a good depiction of an asshole is that his reality is not the same as the reality of the world that he's in. You know, when these characters become annoying, it's when their sexist and racist mentalities are echoed in their environment. Whereas here, it's very clear that he's just a very unreliable narrator.
And just, like, the way that they show the hypocrisy of, like, Guy just, like, going to bust up this prostitution ring because he just feels powerless, but he's palling around with one of the girls.
Yeah, yeah. And then even kind of makes a joke at her, like, bet you would do anything to please your man or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's nice to see this guy who has this worldview and then have it presented as being so fundamentally at odds with reality. It's really impressive to me.
I interpreted that line as her, like, kind of coming on to him and then him being too fucking stupid to realize.
I mean, there's multiple ways you can read it, right?
Yeah, no, just this dialogue's great. It's great. It's good. I love this.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What do I owe my family? What do they ever do for me except teach me to take pain? Teach me to fight for myself. Teach me you can't rely on nobody.
Oh. Yeah, so Guy slams his fist down on the table and it spills a bunch of drinks everywhere. And, like, everybody in the restaurant is shocked and one of them goes, oh, from the background.
And they get, like, an officer's attention. I love the way that the plot kind of moves along from, like, background details.
Yeah.
It really shows, like, that Guy is a self-centered dude who just can't escape himself.
Yeah.
While more important people are doing shit behind him. I don't know. That's really cool and interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know what you mean, hon. My family always made me feel like I wasn't worth dirt. But I know what I'm worth. $300 a night shows me what I'm worth, on good nights anyway. You've got to learn to take care of yourself, that's all. You just need something to help you, something to shut them up, like guns. Guns are for wimps. Well, yeah. Well, Guy.
Says the guy who later has, like, 6 of them strapped to him.
Yeah.
Not including the ones in his hands.
Self-aware, not having moment number 782 for Guy Gardner.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wimps? What about those vigilantes? Like Charles Bronson? Or those comic books that my man's always reading? You know, about that Vietnam vet that's always blowing away scum? You could be that. Oh, now we're explicitly being told
Are they taking a shot at Marvel?
They're Yeah.
They're taking a shot at the Punisher for being this kind of character, but unironically.
Yeah. The 90s is also when Punisher was, like, losing some nuance. Okay, we're gonna eventually have to talk about Punisher discourse because, like, there's a fine line between he was a character that was very self-aware and an anti-hero and oftentimes was morally in the wrong even in the context of his story, versus sometimes when he's written by dickheads who don't get that, he becomes a power fantasy, and that's why he's embraced by military alt-right type weirdos and like cops and stuff. There is, like, some nuance to the character that was objectively being lost in the 90s.
Yeah.
So that there's some confirmation there that this is specifically what they're making fun of. Okay. That's neat. Forget it. I ain't the gun type.
And the cops come up and one of them says, just the break the furniture type? Good dialogue writing. He's the one. He hit the table. He disturbed my patrons.
Also, just super funny that, like, he just, like, pissed off a squirrely little manager guy, and, like, that's how little power that guy has in his life, that he's doing shit like this and just constantly bringing attention to himself. It's so funny.
Yeah. And then he interprets it as everyone else's fault. It's kind of great.
Yeah. Listen, pussface, nothing to disturb these patrons short of the return of prohibition. Now, if you'll pardon me, I finished my elegant repast, and I'm about to go nightclubbing.
Better watch it, Tiffany. get yourself in trouble hanging out with these nuts that dress like superheroes. Oh, her name is Tiffany.
Oh, okay. He is a superhero. He's Guy Gardner, Green Lantern.
The one person who believes in him. I love it. Yeah, he decided he liked you better than his little Norwegian ice goddess, huh?
Maybe I did. You gonna tell Guy Gardner what to do with his life?
Hey, I think you better move along, buddy.
Guns. Make you think you're a man, huh?
Yeah, the cop reaches for his holster.
I love how everyone's like, oh, thank God Guy Gardner's not Green Lantern anymore.
Yeah.
We can finally give this asshole a piece of our mind.
Yeah.
Guns.
Hey, Guy. If you change your mind, my man Slick knows where you can buy anything. Anything, okay? Here's the number. And thanks for the burger, okay? That was really sweet. Just remember me when you've got some real cash in your pocket.
Guns. I tell myself, no way. But I knew what the answer really is. Especially after that little humiliation with Eclipso. And I won't bore you with the details here. There's just no way around it. And then he's like suiting up and it's all grimdark and edgy. Ooh.
Yeah, so he takes off his Green Lantern uniform and he puts on the new one, which was displayed on the cover with minus the Green Lantern logo, but he's strapping an absurd amount of guns to himself. He's putting on his tights, his crop top, the chunky gloves, which is always good character design. And so he's all strapped up, and you see this really nice panel, in my opinion, of like his silhouette against a larger like black background that kind of shows his outline. I don't know. I think it's really interesting art, personally.
Yeah. No, it's a great sequence, and it's also just like, I don't know, I've seen this kind of sequence a million times before, and I think like that's what they're kind of like.
Yeah.
It's like normally there's a lot more bloviating around here about like the deep darkness or whatever, but now he's just like, all right, I guess this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Whatever. Guns, fuck it, I guess. Guns. New tools for a new me. Not Green Lantern no more. Not Guy Gardner no more. From now on, just the Gardner. Somebody's gotta cut the weeds.
Yeah, and I think that's a good place to stop for now. But yeah, just to describe this panel, it's a very glorious one. Lots of, action lines. Him standing on a cliff or whatever. But the focus is on his new character design. That's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guns. Wait,
8
10.
gun. Hold on, no. 8 guns and 2 knives.
Oh, that's a knife.
That's a knife, and that's a knife right there.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right, yeah, and just like 2 belts full of bullets and all sorts of stuff.
And he got that grenade suppository for those real important moments.
Yeah. So that's his he's just rebranded his last name, so now he's cutting down the weeds using guns. So, I think we're about halfway through this first volume. I think that'll be a good place to stop. Where are your thoughts and feelings at, Jen?
So far, I think that it's a great setup. They've done a really good job of characterizing the fact that he's a loser. This is more than likely going to be a low-stakes story with a lot of callbacks to D-list stuff.
Yeah.
So long as they follow through and stick the landing with him either getting the shit kicked out of him or just like going, well, that was fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Buy guns.
Usually I think it's getting the shit kicked out of him because that's the only way he learns anything.
But it's really interesting. I really love types of characters like this that are deconstructed so thoroughly as being a source of, this is clearly a manly man who mans all the man till Mantown, right? But still, like, they're really emasculated. They did a pretty good job of, like, having that sort of, like, dismissive tone to him, and then that line about how his parents just kind of, like, always beat the shit out of him. Like,
yeah.
They do a really good job of capturing a portrait of this kind of guy, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the same thing that James Gunn did with Peacemaker, in the Suicide Squad movie and the follow-up series. I like this type of guy.
Yeah.
When they're explored against a backdrop of people who constantly have to deal with their bullshit and complain about it a lot.
Yeah,
Just to remind the audience, this guy sucks.
Yeah, and this was done in 1992 when that trope was, like, everywhere. So, you know, the fact that they're making fun of this kind of guy when most other media at the time was doing it unironically is, like, really ahead of its time, I think.
Maybe that's the reason why it didn't really do so well, is it kind of got lost in the sea of noise.
Yeah.
You have an already unpopular character people were kind of sick of, and...
But people did like this when it came out. Like, it wasn't, you know, it went over well. It's just that DC, at the time, they were trying to play into that stereotype because of the escapism and appealing to, like, their largely male audience. So this didn't fit with their incredibly stupid mission at the time. And as a result, they didn't appreciate it. And more than that, they've even, like, at times revamped Guy to be even worse. They, during the New 52, they made it so he was a cop who was a son of a cop from generations of cops all the way back to the 1860s. I'm glad they retconned that one, because cops in the 1860s, all they did was retrieve slaves.
Yep.
So,
to be fair, though, I don't think that necessarily contradicts Guy Gardner.
His background is much different. Before then, it was like he came from a broken home. He became like a social worker, but I think he got some sort of injury that made it so he couldn't work anymore. And that's why they picked him as Green Lantern. He used to be a good person. He was just written badly. And that's why people hated him. But yeah, he has a complicated history that changes, much like most DC characters. It changes with the canon, with the times, you know. So yeah, well, I'm looking forward to getting more into Guy Gardner Reborn. I think this will be a fun series.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, Deb, you have any calls to action?
Yeah, so as always, I'd like to thank my Patreon subscribers, Christina Bone and Alex K. If you want more bonus content, if you want to get ahead on episodes, subscribe to the Patreon. The link's in the below. You'll also get to see some of my other projects, thumbnails coming up for my webcomic, the first draft of the novella that's hopefully going to be published this year, all sorts of fun stuff. So
exclusive interview with Guy Gardner, the real person who's real, and we talked to him.
Oh, you know, now we have to record that, right?
No, we don't.
Anyway, yeah, I'll also be posting links when my horror novella is out for publication as well. I'm very excited about it. Do you have any plugs, Joan?
You can follow me on Instagrams where I post art a lot. That's a lie. I don't post art on there, but you can follow me. Follow me on Instagram and Blue Sky.
And all that. Okay, yeah. As always, we'd like to thank Aria for the use of the theme music. You can find a link to her card with all of her various socials down below in the description.
See ya, Green Lantern.
Yeehaw!